Hello everybody, welcome back to another propagation video. Today we'll be propagating syngoniums in water and in soil, and I will be letting you know how other propagation I did on syngoniums turned out. So this one I already propagated, and we will be getting to know the roots and checking the progress. So let's get started. So this is the newest syngonium I got. I still can't decide how I'm gonna name it, but I'm guessing it'll be something with a V, because it's just a vine growing from a pot. So in order to propagate it, which will be by water and by soil propagation, I will be first taking it out of the pot to see what kind of roots we've got laying around in there, and then repotting it into that other gray pot right there. Examining the roots will determine if we can just start cutting from the main stem, or if we'll just be taking cuttings from the vine to start propagating. But I can already tell you that the main stem had nodes with lots of roots, and that's the kind of cutting I like for soil propagation. So what I'm doing over here is loosening up the soil, scraping around the edges of the roots very gently so that no damage is taken by the roots growing inside the pot. Because if they were to get damaged, we would stress out the plant and maybe slowing down the propagation method we're trying to achieve. I am putting the soil aside so we can use it again later on when we repot this syngonium, because the soil came from a nursery home and it probably has fertilizer still that will provide healthy nutrients for the plants to grow up again. Later on I just kind of realized that I didn't really need to use the garden trowel, because the soil was pretty much loosened up already, so instead I just flipped the pot and tried freeing the roots this other way. So at this point I'm just squeezing the pot as I am rotating it to let go of the soil, and if you do this, remember that you've got a plant in the pot, and be very careful with the vine because it might just get a little bit tangled, as it happened to me right there. And remember to be patient, because the whole goal is not hurting the roots, because if we do, the plant will waste resources into growing new ones, and it might just slow down the growth of the new shoots. Eventually the soil will be loose enough so that you can just pull from the stem and see all the rich roots it had hidden right there. So if you want to get rid of all the cut up soil, you can massage the roots very gently or rinse them with water, but remember, always be careful not to damage the roots. So taking a closer look into the plant, I can already see two nodes, and in between the perfect sweet spot where we can make our first cutting. Cutting right here will leave us with the portion of the plant that contains the leaves with enough roots to still thrive and grow, and it will also provide us with a leafless stem that will already be rooted, meaning that it could in very short time grow new shoots. Remember to clean your shears before cutting, and remember to do so in between nodes, because if you get no nodes, no new plant will grow and it'll just be a dead stick. I decided to aim higher and make another cutting in between these two sets of roots, because if roots are growing, you've got a node and you are safe to go. Also, the more cuttings you make, the greater chance you have at succeeding in propagating, and the more the merrier. Also, I think there's already a new shoot growing in there, so we'll just have to wait and see. I am going to be repotting the plant over this spot right here. It's not the prettiest one, I had some other ones, but I really wanted to get a bit root bound, because I've heard syngoniums thrive when they are just a bit root bound. I am repotting everything into the same pot because I want to have a bushier plant, Having just one vine coming out of the pot feels kind of depressing. It kind of feels like the plant is dead or dying. So I'm just gonna put everything inside and hope to see new shoots and vines coming out of the pot really soon. Fill the container with enough soil, trying to cover all the roots and leave no root behind. Remember to be careful and not to damage any roots. At this point, I didn't realize I had covered the camera view with this other pot I was taking the soil from. So I'm just gonna speed up the process and let you guys look at the final result. And the final result is here. We've got this vine filled with leaves and these little stem cuttings right here. I will be keeping them under the growing light so they get enough nutrients and can start soon growing new shoots. And the promise is a promise. We will be now taking the cutting for the water propagation method, and as you can see, we've got nodes all over the vine. Every time we've got the stem intersecting with the leaf, we've got a node where these aerial roots are showing. So I will be cutting just above there to get the cutting and then put it in water. So apparently I deleted the video where I made the cutting, but here it is. It's the final set of leaves that the vine grew. I cut just below the node and put it in water. This will also be staying under the growing light in my room so it can make photosynthesis and start getting those roots it needs to thrive. I don't know if you can see, but those cuttings we made are already producing some shoots, so we'll keep you updated. And yes, I say we because Mia has been with me all along, making me company. She's such a great guardian dog. In this other section of the video, I will be showing you how soil propagation for Sylvie turned out. Yes, this is Sylvie, my first Syngonium, and I propagated her just the way I soil propagated the other Syngonium that has yet to be named. So Sylvie was actually living in two different pots because when I propagated her, I just wanted to keep more plants in more pots, but now that I got a whole bunch of plants that you can see in the new houseplant haul video, yeah, those plants will be needing some repotting. And well, yeah, Sylvie was just living in an oversized pot, so and yeah, this is the result of Sylvie's propagation. This is the only leaf that kind of browned a little bit, but I will be cutting it out because this other one right here lives in the same cutting. And as you can see, some leaves look very young, and that's because when you propagate, your leaves tend to get younger than what they were. And that's just a regular thing that happens every single time you propagate. Your new leaves will be younger than the last leaf that sustains them. And this part right here is very straightforward. It's just the same thing I did with the other plant. I'm just scraping around the roots not to get them damaged and saving all the soil that I will be taking from this plant into another container so I can reuse it later, because you know it's fertilized and it already has the nutrients my plants need to grow. And when the soil is loosened up, we can just start grabbing the cuttings to place them somewhere else for the meantime. And yeah, every single cutting produced new roots, as I will be showing right here. And I'm very happy because that means we were 100% successful in all of the cuttings we made for Sylvie. So yeah, we've got cuttings that have only produced roots, damaging one leaf that I will be cutting down. Some have produced new shoots. That little baby over there will be another leaf. We've got some other ones that have unfurling leaves, as this one, and just an assortment of things that we'll be placing in this tiny little pot right here. So what I'm doing is just drilling a hole with my fingers and placing the plant where I want it to be. But it's kind of difficult because as the soil is airy, whenever I try to put another cutting, they will just get messy. So be patient and careful, because as I've said before, we don't want to damage any of the roots. We want to keep them as happy as they were before, so they can keep thriving, keep growing new shoots, new leaves, unfurling leaves, and making that little pot a bushy pot filled with life and love. And here it is, the final result of today's video. Sylvie living happily on her new pot. I will be letting you guys go try to propagate Syngoniums, because it's been such a rewarding thing for me and a very easy plant to propagate. I'll see you in the next update videos. Bye bye!